always has the choice to not be involved with politics, but one never has the choice to not be affected by the outcome of politics.
If you don't vote, you don't have the right to even talk about it.
We may make reels on Instagram, but if on the polling day we don't turn up and not register our vote, our voice is not heard. If you make your ambitions very personal, the ups and downs of politics and life will have very serious impact on you.
You guys are very lucky that there are very young leaders sitting in front of you who can at least explain to you in your language, right?
I wanted to ask Aman
Right.
for ideas on how BJP can market its policies better.
If you could have lunch with a historical figure, dead or alive, who would that be?
I think it would be B.R. Ambedkar.
But I think if you don't vote, you don't have the right to even talk about it.
Because we are a country of over 140 crore people and small dream is a crime. That's what is the problem with the Congress today.
Welcome to Namma Bengaluru, Aman sir.
Thank you so much. This is I've not seen such an energy anywhere, यार. मतलब अच्छा है. मतलब मैं आके थोड़ा सा अभी घबरा सा गया हूँ यहाँ पे आके, right? So, but
This is Bengaluru for you, Aman. This is Bengaluru. South Bengaluru.
So I'm a little nervous, guys. Please be kind to me, right?
Amazing. So today we have the crowd with the first time voters, right? So we want to hear it from you. What was your first voting experience like? Where, how, and just elaborate the whole scene.
No, but my first voting is also coming now, right? Why do you think I'm like very old? Right? No, but on a serious note, I remember the first voting was like 10 years back or something, 15 years back. And I don't remember actually. But, but one thing I remember is that they say that, everybody should vote, right? The reason is that we all have become, we have all our opinions. Like if you talk to your friends, you'll say, isne ye kharab kiya, ya isne ye theek kiya, ya nahi kiya. But I think if you don't vote, you don't have the right to even talk about it, right? So I think that is the most important thing one should do is just go and vote for sure.
Amazing. So that's a question for him. Now let's ask TS sir. If you had to give an elevator pitch for your startup political campaign, what would it be like? I want to hear it from you.
Now this is quite difficult with a shark next to you.
Yeah.
It's always said, one always has the choice to not be involved with politics, but one never has the choice to not be affected by the outcome of politics. So, whether we like it or not, we just cannot afford to be indifferent to what is happening in the political sphere. The reason why I would want you all to vote is because in a democracy, that is the only way that you can register your voice. We may comment on Twitter, we may write long posts on LinkedIn, we may make reels on Instagram, but if on the polling day we don't turn up and not register our vote, our voice is not heard in a democratic system. So that is why we need to vote in a democracy. Because the petrol that you fill in your bike, the price of that, two, what you study in your school, college textbooks, to whether or not you will be rescued from a war-torn nation if you're a student there, or if the government will come to your rescue and provide you with free vaccines, or if the government will create an economy of the kind where after you pass out of college, after having taken a big student loan, you will get a job to actually furnish it and take care of your parents. All of these depend on your participation in politics and the kind of leadership that you choose for the country. So for your sake, vote. For your sake, participate. This is the only pitch as far as voting or first-time voters is concerned.
Thank you so much. So without any further delay here, our first-time voters have a few questions for both of you. To start off first, we have Ridyesh.
I hope these are not some curated questions like acha sanitized questions and all that. Ask anything that you want. Okay? And if at all, I mean, there's no censorship, there is no blocking, nothing. Ask what you want because that's how democracy actually thrives. Okay? So ask anything that you want. Yeah.
So all of them had a form to
Yeah,
fill
sure.
based on that, sir.
Okay. So, being one of the, I'm Hridesh from RV University. Being one of the youngest, if not the youngest MP in our country, the defining required qualities that make a good politician differ from different age groups. As you're closer to our age group than any other MP we could probably go to. So, what do you say those are, and what does one do to acquire it?
Very interesting question that you have asked, Hridesh. Hridesh, right?
Yes.
I think the very first quality that I think anybody who aspires to be in politics or for that matter even in business in fact is patience, and tons of patience, because every day we come across hundreds and thousands of people who essentially come to you with their problems. So you need to have that ability to sit and listen, give them a patient hearing, try to understand their problem and be patient about it. So I think, and not everybody is going to be empathetic to you. Not everybody is going to know that you have like 100 other things going on. You have 50 other appointments that day. You have your own share of problems. So I think the very important quality, I think, is to be very, very patient with everything. That pays off in a long run. The second is, I always say this, in life generally and especially in politics, your ambitions should be impersonal. Because if you make your ambitions very personal, the ups and downs of politics and life will have very serious impact on you. It will crush you. Because there's not always a good day. There are some days are good and there are more days that are bad. So if your ambition is impersonal, if you're working towards a big cause, if you're working towards a big goal, then it is less of you and more of the goal. That way, your personal everyday ups and downs can be handled very effectively. So the focus should be on what I want to do than what I want to be. So perhaps this is a great field which actually tells you that titles do not matter, even though the fight on the outside appears to be for titles. So I think these are two qualities that I personally felt over the last 5 years that I have been working with people. Patience, impersonal ambition, and lastly, hard work. You know, I can vouch for this. Outside of the political sphere, people who are outside, many times they truly do not understand or even acknowledge how much of hard work political leaders do. And it's relentless hard work. It's through the year hard work. I don't think in the last 5 years, my friends and I have taken a weekend off. Not one weekend in the 5 years. And you need to be mentally prepared to put in enormous amount of hard work, because anything other than that is always going to be shorter than the mark, shorter than the expectation. So just these three things: patience, impersonal ambition, incredible hard work.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Aman sir, what do you think? Does this apply in the field of business as well?
No, before coming to the field of business, I'll add to what sir said. Tejasvi said. मैं बताया ना सर, अभी घबराया हूँ, कुछ नहीं पता क्या बोलूँ. So
आप शार्क हो भाई, घबराने का चीज मेरा होना चाहिए.
Sir, I remember जब I was invited by Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji for with the French delegation. So I went to France with him. Okay. So the day started. I was very happy, lucky, surprised, humbled, and everything that I got a call. I felt so nice. About the hard work which they have to do. I was talking about that. So 6 o'clock in the morning, the Bastille Day parade started. Okay, so we all reached at 6 o'clock. So Modi ji was also there. Then we had business meetings in the afternoon, the whole afternoon. And then we had, he had separate meetings with the ministers outside. And then in the evening, we had dinner at the Louvre. We all were invited. Then in the night, I was so tired. By 11:30, we went to sleep. And I was like, next day I'll take a leave, I'll take an off, and I'll wake up aram se. So I woke up around 10:30, 11 in the morning next day. And I get up and I was, the first thing I wanted was to share my pictures on Instagram, right? To feel, So as soon as I get up, I said, that now I'm going to take a rest day. And I see Modi ji is already in Abu Dhabi or Dubai that day, right? I was like, this is too much. This is the type of hard work which I think the government is doing, and hats off to you guys to do that. And that keeps us, I sometimes feel that, I thought, normally you used to feel that the government doesn't work after 6. The perceptions hai. So I also went to another day, all the unicorn founders were called by Piyush Goyal ji. So we were all sitting. And at 11:30, I could see all the founders were like half asleep, and there was energy on this side. And one question I asked was, sir, how do you derive so much energy? And if that energy comes from top right, so all of us get that energy to even work hard for the country. So kudos to you guys for doing that, sir.
Man, that reminds me, certain days, because I am also very normal, just like everyone here, right? So there are days where I'm in the car sometimes, and I tell Chetan or people who are in the car, is like, boss, I just can't do this event today. Like let's just get home, man. I want to switch off the phone. I want to just go home and just sleep, or just lock myself up in the room for some time and just be, not do anything. Okay, because your social battery would have just died by the end of the day after meeting so many people. It is at those times actually that I think of our Prime Minister. Okay, I'm 33, he's 73. Okay, and if he can do thrice as much as we do at 33 at 73, man, then what better inspiration for us young people to work hard than our Prime Minister, right? Incredible.
I totally agree on that.
Yes, like this, we have more interesting questions for all of you. Next, we have Navneet. Yes.
ಸಿಟಿ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಈ ನಡುವೆ ತುಂಬ ವಿಪರೀತ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಮಿತಿ ಮೀರಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಅದರಿಂದ ತುಂಬ ತೊಂದರೆಗಳು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ನೀರಿನ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಈಗಿಂದು. ಮುಂದೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಸಮಸ್ಯೆನ ಓವರ್ಕಮ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಕೆಲಸಗಳಾಗಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ, ವಾಟ್ ದ ವರ್ಕ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಡನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ದ ವರ್ಕ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಬೀನ್ ಇನಿಷಿಯೇಟೆಡ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ, ಒನ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ದ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ವೇರ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಸಿ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಇನ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ 2 decades. And the third thing is, in 1970s, if I'm not wrong, Congress government made Ulivavane Bhumiya Odeya anta. As much I know, for that one particular reason, a number of votes is being transferred to the Congress party till today. What today's government can do to reach until the non-educated, non-technical touch people of the country?
That's so many questions in one. So let me try to give like a brief but a comprehensive answer. So urbanization is here to stay. Okay. So we cannot go back to an world all over. The top economies of the country, of the world, are all largely urban economies. Because urban centers are the engines of growth of an economy. Unfortunately, for a very long time in India, governments, one after other, successively neglected urbanization and was very indifferent towards urbanization. So we also had this romantic idea that India is a economy of villages and rural economy is the backbone of India, while statistics on the ground was different. Even today, more number of Indians live in urban centers than what they do in the rural centers. So because of our criminal neglect, I'm using this word with a lot of deliberation, because of our criminal neglect of urbanization, we have not planned our cities and planned our urbanization well. As a result of that, not just Bengaluru, most of the urban centers of India, whether it is Mumbai, whether it is Delhi, Noida, Gurgaon, whichever center, Chennai, any center you pick, there's a lot of problems at the municipal level, at the city level. Now, water is one. Now, with respect to Bengaluru specifically, now why I said that context is now because for all these years successively, due to our socialist bent of mind towards politics, we ignored urbanization. Now, the first government which spoke about urbanization, urban cities, was the Atal Bihari Vajpayee government, which focused on bringing metros to urban centers and brought the new urban policy at the national level. And then now under the Narendra Modi government, we have spoken about 100 smart cities. We have the 2017 National Urban Mission. The Niti Aayog has brought so many documents on urbanization. So the Urban Affairs Ministry is speaking about sustainable cities. So this is a renewed approach, a belated approach that the government has done. So the first point that I want to make about this is, the next few decades, it is very important for us as a nation to focus on urbanization in a systematic manner, because the more and more young people are going to get educated, the more India is going to become urbanized, the more we will have problems in the urban centers. So we need to build institutions that are going to be robust enough to address urban challenges. Second, the water challenge in Bengaluru. Bengaluru every day needs 2,200 million liters per day water, okay, MLD. We get around 1,450 MLD from Kaveri. The remaining 600 odd MLD we get through our borewells. Now the city is expanding. The city is rapidly growing. While the Kaveri water supply remains pretty much the same, the demand is going to only exponentially increase. So now what people have done is they have started digging more and more borewells. While there are 11,000 odd borewells that BBMP and BWSSB have dug, there are more than 4.5 lakh private borewells that BWSSB has registered. But there may be a few lakh more which are indeed in existence, but which the government authorities are not aware of. This is a clear case, a classic case of abuse of our groundwater. Especially if, on one hand, we are not taking care of our lakes. If our lakes are going to be, faced with encroachment issues. And for a city like Bengaluru, which is not very near to a freshwater source, because like you all know, Bengaluru gets water from TK Halli. That is 110 kilometers away from the heart of the city. So we are pumping up 110 kilometers every day, every liter of water. In all of Asia, the most expensive and most inefficient water is Bengaluru. Because we pump 110 kilometers upstream. Every day, BWSSB incurs an electricity bill of 3 crore rupees to pump water to Bengaluru. Now, in the coming years, if we are not going to take care of our lakes, if we are not going to save rainwater, because Bengaluru gets about 19 TMC of rainwater every year, and because of mindless white topping and concretization everywhere, and not implementing rainwater harvesting in our homes, there is no space for water to go inside, seep inside and recharge the aquifers. So if we are not going to protect our lakes, if we are not going to, on a mission mode as a civil society, not going to implement 100% rainwater harvesting in all residential commercial buildings, then we will not have groundwater to last for the coming years. This is a very serious issue. And whether it is Mekedatu, whether it is bringing water from Sharavati, whether it is bringing water from Krishna, these are all big projects which have a lot of ecological cost as well. So the simplest method is to recycle the used water effectively. There are global models in countries like Israel, where in Tel Aviv, around 89% of the water they use is recycled and is potable quality after treatment. So we need to work towards that. We need to, as civil society, protect our lakes. According to BBMP, around 192 living lakes are in Bengaluru. We need to protect them. Third, we need to make sure rainwater harvesting is done everywhere so that every drop of rainwater is collected and it is used to recharge our aquifers. This, I think, is the most important short-term, cost-effective, society-based solution that all of us can think of to ensure water security of Bengaluru. Do we have any ideas from the startup community, Aman, that, for problems like, protecting water security of a city that the startups can offer?
Sir, as startups, I would just say one thing that, the best part is that at least you are able to communicate to them in a language they understand, right? The first question you asked me, ma'am, was whether, do I remember actually voting 15 years back? I was not able to even connect at that time to the politicians at that age, right? You guys should be lucky that you are able to at least even the language is understandable. He can talk in a language which you can understand. So you guys are very lucky that you have a very young leader sitting in front of you who can at least explain to you in your language, right? In the words you understand. So as a startups are the best way we would say is, if you're asking me that question, is to also empower these young guys who are working in this. Like my wife has been working for the Dutch embassy in this in the energy space for last 10 years. So what you can do is also ask these young brains on what they think is is the right solution for you guys, and I'm sure the ideas which the young guys can give will be much amazing, and you can take some of those and probably implement them.
Welcome, Aman sir, to Bangalore, and thank you for conducting this session, Tejasvi Surya sir. So we witnessed a marketing gap in the last MLA election, especially in Karnataka, in terms of marketing and branding gap from BJP's side. Even though we were at par in terms of like a lot of projects and developmental work, I don't think it was marketed enough or branded enough as much as the freebies that Congress provided. So how are we bridging the gap? Number one. And second question would be, we have a lot
that
of...
everybody asks a package of questions.
No. We get to meet you only once, so obviously...
No. Okay.
So second thing is, a lot of students... Okay, a lot of youngsters are looking to support BJP and want to join BJP. What would be your suggestion in terms of that? And while we're speaking of marketing, we have a marketing guru here, so it would be unfair for
Yeah,
me to
so
not
I
ask.
actually wanted to do that. I wanted to ask Aman
Right.
for ideas on how BJP can market its policies better.
Exactly.
Okay. Go ahead.
Sir, you're putting me in spot. It's tough. But I'll tell you, sir, it's not about marketing. I think marketing without the actual product is a very bad idea. If you market,
That's what is the problem with the Congress today.
so as much if the like you, I'll tell you from my example, right? I was when we started like 10 years back. 2016, sorry, 8 years back, we were, there was a mission called Startup India, right? And we never thought that, we will be one of these startups. Startups were just beginning to start in India. And sir, and I said it to Modi ji also that, on the Creator Day, that, now we are the second largest wearable brand in the world, sir. Second largest, right? It's just
Did you just notice the smart plugin? That's marketing for you guys.
No, I have a very good plugin for which I just realized that, buy boat, please go and vote, right? No, that's much better. But sir, so I would say that if the product is good, if if marketing of Make in India was there, like Make in India was initially a marketing jargon, frankly, right? But then slowly the government worked on it. That what is Make in India? How should we empower Make in India? How do we give PLI schemes, PMP schemes? All these schemes came over that is when entrepreneurs and startups like us started thinking, let's evaluate Make in India. And once we saw that there is a merit in making in India, once we saw that, we are able to give employment to 15,000 people, once we started feeling that actually consumers have started now wanting Make in India. So from Make in India as a jargon, now consumers are themselves saying, "Arey, आपका India में बनता है या कहीं और बनता है?" If it's Make in India, people are buying that more. So that jargon actually became an execution, and now you don't need to market it because then consumers will talk about it themselves. Like people like us are actually, we are proud of making in India, which nobody was earlier. So now there are a lot of entrepreneurs who are now starting to build brands from India, who are wanting, like I was reading last week, Nikhil Kamath also said, let's build Indian brands. Like I said it 2 months back also, that Indian brands are here to stay. And that is the power of, that's the power of something top down coming to us, that now we are also believing and dreaming that let's build Indian brands, let's take India out of the country, Indian brands out of the country, and let's be proud of our country.
Absolutely. The point that you made resonates with me deeply, because a few days ago, I had gone to inaugurate a store of Snitch, this new apparel brand. Looks like they're doing very well. So, yeah, Shark Tank brand, right? Yeah. So
we help them, sir.
So, the moment I entered their store, there was this tagline, "Making in India for the world." Right? So now, look at that ambition. So it speaks volumes. We not just are making in India, but our ambition is to make it for the world. And I think, one of the biggest things that has transformed in the country over the last 10 years, Aman, is for a long time, because for centuries together, the British invasion, and then before that, the invasion earlier, all of that had somewhere at some point subconsciously resulted in us Indians losing self-confidence, the ability to think grandly, execute big things, and do like grand things. Somewhere we lost that panache. But if you go back in a time and look at the way our ancestors, our forefathers built the temples, okay, you will find that they were massive structures and they were intricate. They demanded excellence, and they were built over 300, 400 years, which also shows there was so much of stability in society prosperity in society for that much period, and they dare to dream in such a big way. So now in the last 10 years, our attempt to build the world's highest statue. Okay? Now what does that achieve in terms of the intangible? It gives you the feeling that we can build the world's tallest statue. Now when we say that we are the most digital nation, we are in unbelievable numbers, because India does more UPI transactions per day than what the United States does in 3 years. Right? And then look at the way we executed our vaccination program. Right? Again, the world's largest vaccination, conducted in the cheapest manner, in the most digital way, and the most cost efficient vaccination. Right? All of these indicate towards us going back to and refinding our biggest, strongest, largest DNA that was so inherent with the Indian psyche, Indian culture. We are today building, I mean, if you look at the world, we build more highways per day than any country in the world. Right? So these are, the point that you made was very interesting, that we are slowly becoming, reorienting our aspirations to what it actually must be. Because we are a country of 140 crore people, and small dream is a crime for a country of this scale. So I think this is the biggest contribution in terms of a cultural intangible that Modi government has done over the last 10 years. To empower our young to dream big, to become the grandest, biggest, highest, largest, fastest, whatever superlative, India must be that.
So true. Next we have Shrivardhan.
Yeah.
Shrivardhan.
Good afternoon, sir. So my name is Srivardhan. I'm from Christ University. I come from the Baswangudi constituencies. Are you able to hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Now, am I audible? Fine?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So my question is, you've been the MP for this particular constituency for past 5 years, right? So is there anything which you personally want to do for this particular constituency in these 5 years which you couldn't do, and which you want to do in the next 5 years after you get re-elected?
Well, I think in this 5 years, the priority for me was to work on getting approvals for some big ticket infrastructure projects for Bengaluru to decongest the city, because one of the biggest problems of the city is traffic, right? And the traffic is not a problem by itself. It's a symptom of a larger problem. What was that larger problem? That in the last 2-3 decades, while the city's economic growth galloped and ran, the corresponding pace of infrastructure creation did not take place. So we have tried to address that. So in the last 5 years, what was pending from 40 years, the approval for the Bengaluru suburban rail project, I could get it done. Okay, we now have the 17,800 crore suburban rail project that is now starting in Bengaluru. 2 corridors of the project, the work has begun. Now the aim is to finish that project as quickly as possible, because once it is done, 10 to 12 lakh people will be able to travel in the suburban range every day. So in the next 5 years, the aim is going to be to quickly finish the suburban rail project. That's the first priority. Second, now all of you have also realized by now that the magic bullet, the silver bullet to Bengaluru's congestion problems is the metro. Right? Now, the the state government here, DK Shivkumar, wants to do tunnel roads, you know. But all over the world, experience has always shown that building roads can never solve traffic problem. Because building roads is only going to incentivize purchase of more private vehicles and more cars. And imagine in a country as populous as India, imagine if everybody is going to have a car of his own. You just cannot get out anywhere. You know, we already so, substantially or overwhelmingly depend on Blinkit and other things because we don't want to get out even to buy half a liter of milk. Right? Imagine what is going to happen if every single person in Bengaluru is starting to own a four-wheeler. So the only way Bengaluru's congestion issue can be addressed is by increasing the city's metro connectivity. So the comprehensive mobility plan of Bengaluru city metro is for 317 kilometers. Okay? So once that is going to be complete, you can pretty much go anywhere in the city very easily with a metro. So the last 5 years, I worked to get the approval for the airport line metro. So from Central Silk Board to airport, the work that you are seeing, we got that done in the last 5 years. We have also expedited the work on the yellow line. That is the RV Road to Bomasandra one. So once that is going to be open this year by September or October, 4 to 5 lakh people can travel in that lane every day. Okay. Now Metro Phase 3, which is very near to this place, is also going to get approved, hopefully within the first trimester of the Narendra Modi government 3.0. That is going to connect Vega City Mall to Nayandhalli. Okay. So most of South Bengaluru will have superb metro connection. Okay. Now, in addition to that, I have realized that in the last 5 years, one of the reasons why Bengaluru Metro's work is at a slow pace is because we do not consider the whole 317 kilometers in a comprehensive way, but we take one stretch at a time. So that is making the project much slower. So the effort is going to be to expedite the metro expansion in the city in the next 5 years. Now the third one, we started the STRR, the Satellite Town Ring Road. You guys are aware of it, right? So it's a 268 kilometer ring road that connects all the entry exit points of highways around Bengaluru. So once that is complete, we have now completed 80 kilometers of it. Once the remaining is going to be complete, close to 30% heavy vehicle traffic that enters the city will be bypassed. So my next priority for the immediate next 2-3 years is to complete the 268 kilometer stretch. Now the fourth point that we want to do in terms of mobility. Now we have also proposed, just like the STRR, a circular ring railway. Okay, just like the Bengaluru suburb, satellite town ring road, there is going to be a rail connectivity of top-notch quality, which is going to connect all the suburbs and all the cities like, Magdi, Hoskote, all of these cities, towns that are around Bengaluru in a circular ring railway. So this is going to be a game changer for Bengaluru and all of these, suburbs around Bengaluru, because what it is going to do is it is going to take the pressure of the core Bengaluru away from the core and distribute economic growth all of these cities, all of these areas. So that is something that we are going to do. So once the circular ring railway, once the STRR, once the 317 kilometer metro, once the suburban rail, all of this is complete, imagine what is going to be the quality of infrastructure in our Bengaluru. It's going to be world class. So this is something that I would want to work on in the next 5 years, specific to Bengaluru's infrastructure.
Amazing. I'm sure we're going to have world-class Bengaluru, and I'm know everybody is waiting for one segment. What is that? We have a rapid fire round with the both of you. Are you all ready for it?
No.
Please.
Even at Coffee with Karan, the people get the questions. So you should have given the questions to us before.
So this is not Coffee with Karan. It is Conversation with Jeevita. So no questions are leaked out. Okay, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a little quirky. So are you all ready? Yes. So the first question is for Aman sir. Describe Bengaluru in 3 words.
Weather,
Just 3 words.
weather, energy, and entrepreneurship. Startups.
Okay, amazing. My next question is, what was your feeling of making the first million and how did you spend it?
How did you
Spend it.
spend it?
Yeah, that feeling and what did you do with that money?
I bought a car. Sorry, in
Which
Delhi,
car?
in Delhi is okay. The road issues. So I bought a car. I gave half of it to my parents because
Adarsh Putra.
No, so there is also a meme going on that in Shark Tank people say that you give us 10% equity for 10 minutes of work, but the what parents have done to you for last 30 years, that it's like a free equity. So I wanted to repay all the debt we paid off in that. So I spent it there, and I traveled a lot. First year I traveled a lot. That's it. What else? Then I started working for the next million, and then I spent that, and then I worked for the next.
And you couldn't count after that.
God has been kind. That was what I would
God
say.
has
But
been-
it's always never. I'll tell you frankly. If I start thinking that I have enough, then I'll start becoming a little complacent. And what drives me is to do the next big thing, right? Like Tejasvi sir also said that what next? Like we have our ambitions, right? Now we are the new India. The new India is not stopping here. We want to go bigger. If I want, I can actually not work for rest of my life. My children don't need to work, touch wood. But that's not how we think, right? We want to work, we want to grow, we want to do the next big thing, probably make a boat larger than what it is, probably employ more people, give employment to, in India when you employ, you don't employ people, you employ families. There are like 15,000 families now involved with us. How can we empower 50,000 families? So our ambitions are big, we are not stopping here. So we will keep working hard. But it's not for the money, it's more about the purpose of life for us now.
That's the unstoppable Aman Gupta with us. The next question is for TS sir. If you could have lunch with a historical figure, dead or alive, who would that be and why? Do you want me to repeat? If you... Okay.
I'm not Rahul Gandhi, yaar. So, well, there's so many people's names coming in my mind. I think it would be B.R. Ambedkar. Because, there are two things about him that I find to be really incredible. One is, the life experiences that he went through, being shooed away at every point, not being othered all the time, not being, accepted anywhere. It actually shakes you and riles you up. It crushes you. It crushes your spirit. So to come from there and rise to a position where you can actually draft a country's constitution and use it to uplift millions and millions who were actually in that position is, I think, an incredible life story. Right? Second, after I read his writings, etc., even though there is so much of personal animosity that he had faced through his, growing years, all of that, in his later years when he was actually in a position of power, there was no animosity or acrimony or bitterness in him. So he actually showed great large-heartedness to take everybody along. So I think these two qualities make him an incredible human being to have a conversation with, to understand what would have gone through somebody's, mind when, if you're put through some kind of a thing like this. Because so many of us here, Bangalore, we are blessed with parents who have actually taken care of us well. So we come from certain privilege. So to come from absolutely nothing and actually reach that and still not be angry or bitter about those situations which actually put you that, I think is phenomenal. I think I would want to have lunch, breakfast or whatever with B.R. Ambedkar and also Nikola Tesla. I love that guy. So these two.
The same question is for you. An historical figure that you would want to have lunch with? Why?
I wanted to say the same thing, but he said all the points. So, I don't get... so plus one.
I think this is a lie. This is
This is
either you're lazy to give an answer.
I want to do a plus one on this.
Okay, amazing. We are running short of time with that. Would you want... Can I... I have questions, but it's two more? Yes, sir is liking... No, it's my rapid fire questions. He's loving it, right? Okay. If you could switch lives with somebody for a day, just a day, who would it be and why?
Drink water, I get time to think, right? If you ask me, frankly, no one for now. I'll tell you why. Because, I'm actually happy in what I am. And, there is a very old saying that somebody asks somebody to switch a life with somebody, right? And then they realize the problems the other guy is facing and then they want their own life back, right? So I'm very happy with what I have. There are a lot of challenges we also are facing, but, that's how life is. So I'm living a life which I didn't dream of, probably God dreamt of. But I'm today, a lot of people get inspired by what is happening with my life. So I'm very happy to inspire so many young entrepreneurs and individuals. So I'm blessed and humbled and happy to be where I am.
Amazing. The last question is for the both of you. It's just fun. We want to know what was the last song you heard on repeat? Using boats.
So I have this, I have one song which I keep repeating, listening to on repeat, which is Ye Dil Deewana. But if you've heard that song, it's my favorite song. I keep listening to that. It's a very energetic song. It gives me a lot of energy. And the other one is Free Falling. You must have heard Free Falling from Tom Petty. That's also a beautiful song I love. So that also I keep hearing.
Amazing. So you?
Our campaign song is the best song today. Okay? So all of you also keep listening to it on loop. And if you want, use both. But listen to our campaign song. Desha ke Modi, Dakshina ke Surya. That's the campaign song.
With that note, Aman sir, what do you feel about being here, your remarks, and what does Bengaluru feel like? What would you want to say to all the first-time voters who are here watching you?
First, as I said in the beginning, outstanding energy this place has, sir. And I don't want this session to stop for some reason, but, time is limited. So, guys, please go vote. And you have a very young leader here, so I won't directly say it, but, you have a great guy in front. So vote for prosperity, vote for growth, and vote for development of the country.
Okay, if this is how you say it indirectly, how do you say it directly?
हमारा नेता कैसा हो, no? That's how we do it in India. That's how we do it in Delhi, right? So I hope you win, sir. I hope you break all records, and hope to see you in the parliament soon, sir.
Thank you so much, Aman Bhai. Thank you so much. It meant a lot that you came here to talk to young Bengaluru. We all look up to you. Bengaluru is New India, and you are the face of New India's ambitions, aspirations. Thank you so much, Aman Bhai. It means a lot to all of us that you flew down from Delhi, came here, spent so much time and interacted with all of us. Grateful. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for
so
calling me,
much.
So he's probably you guys should now hold him and just give him all the recommendations which the young Bengaluru needs, because he's going to fulfill all of them, guys.
So, yeah, now I had this thought in mind, okay, and I'm not bluffing like how he did earlier, okay. So, okay, now I have a thought to share with all of you before we leave and we'll reassemble again. Bengaluru is India's youngest city, okay, in terms of the population. The most millennials concentration in India is in Nama Bengaluru, okay. Therefore, the aspirations of young Bengaluru is going to be the aspirations of young India and new India. Now, can we start from this moment a continuous dialogue over the next 5 years where we keep interacting, keep deliberating, keep brainstorming on solutions to make Bengaluru better? Okay? So, whether it's traffic, whether it's water, whether it's investments to Bengaluru, 100 other things. Because Bengaluru actually today does not have a vibrant young platform where concerned citizens of the city, young citizens of the city come together to discuss and think for the city. Can we build this platform as an offshoot from today's discussion? Yes, sir. Okay, so we have 10 days now before we go to polls. Okay? Now, if all of you over the next week can actually think of 5 ideas that we can work over the next 5 years consistently to make Bengaluru better. Let that be the young manifesto of young Bengaluru. Can we do that?
Yes.
So what we will do is, we will amongst us circulate a form. Maybe you can over the next few days, maybe one of the evenings, this group along with a few others can actually meet up at some cafe or some place. Our office will help organize it. You guys can finalize 5 themes, 5 problems, 5 statements that you think are the most crucial for Bengaluru, that not just government, not MPs, MLAs, etc., but as a city that we need to address, a people's movement. Okay, 5 things. And we have 5 years before us until the next elections. So over the next 5 years, collectively as young Bengaluru, we will keep working on these 5 ideas, 5 themes, 5 problem statements. And by the end of the next 5 years, we would have had tangible outcomes on these 5 ideas. Can this be a to-do from today's meeting?
Yes.
Is this all the enthusiasm there is?
Yes, sir.
Yeah? Can we do this? Yes, sir. Okay, now let's end with the objective of today's meeting. Okay, so that I remind all of you what the objective of today's meeting is. I am going to say 2024, and all of you will have to say Modi once more. Okay, 2024. Modi once more. 2024. Modi once more. 2024. Modi once more. 2024. Modi once more. 2024.
Modi once more.
Bharat Mata ki Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram.
Thank you so much. Let's all go outside and take a group picture. Okay? See you all. Thank you so much for coming here. Amazing seeing all of you. Thank you.